How are
So nice to see you.
you?
Good, Pebbles. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good. So nice to see you in live person.
I know. Nice to see you too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Just
doing
for
this.
your inspiration and your text message. Like, have a good day. Be strong. Like, sometimes we all need that, but during this time, I definitely need that. And I just wanted to say thank you and tell us about yourself.
Thank you. And I feel the same about you. Namaste. And thank you so much for having me on Mommy Wellness. And I'm a mom of 3 boys. I'm a teacher and wrote my first book called Up, Not Down Syndrome. Woo! And that's about it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, as I am a mother of 3 as well. One with trisomy 21, and then the other 2 with chronic asthma. So it's a rocky road. I'm pretty sure you've been there way before me. But I heard that the baby stages are the hardest, right?
Yeah, definitely. Baby stage, and every stage has the gifts, and the challenges. Yeah, definitely. So, I
Okay.
wanted
So
to ask. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you first.
So I was saying, like, as they get older, and one side we know every pinpoint of his health issues, like it would be easier. Like right now, the stages is more like research and seeing if this work or let's try that. So I got hope for the future.
Yeah, no, there's so much hope and there's so much support out there. So yeah, definitely creating a team around you is very helpful.
Yes, thank you.
So I wanted to ask you a question. What keeps you motivated to stay healthy, and what's your recipe to stay on the wellness path? Like, what are your workouts like and nutrition? I'm so interested. I know you're very active in that path.
Well, I would say I started to like get
It's a
more
good.
healthy once I became a mother because I breastfed all my children, and my oldest, Peyton, I breastfed her till she was 4. So,
Wow.
I
Wow.
started to eat healthy then, and then with the
Yeah.
twins, I breastfed them until 6 months. It was like double the work. So I only did it
Like
until 6
2.
months. Yes, at the same
Wow.
time.
Wow.
So I started to really like eat more healthier then. But now with all these responsibilities that I have with them, I don't work out as much as I used to, but I try to work out like if they're taking a nap, like this time right now, I will be working out. Um, but I lost so much weight after the twins. I don't know if it's
Wow.
from stress or what, but I lost so much weight. So now I'm in the process of trying to gain my weight back. So
Wow. Yeah. That's
yeah.
so great. Yeah, no, health is so important. I just found this book. Do you know this one? Veggies and Fish.
Oh no.
I've just been trying to cook, so I'm trying to learn all I can about that. But it's so important. I know when I exercise, I just feel so much better the whole day. It just helps lift my mood and gives me strength so
Oh,
much.
you have to send me some of those recipes. I love
Oh,
to
definitely,
cook.
definitely. I'm just getting into it now that I'm 53. But yes,
So I have a question. So I
sure.
know that you're married. You have a beautiful family with your
Thank you.
boys.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wanted to know, how did you and your husband accept the diagnosis? Did you guys like, because sometimes women we deal with it differently than fathers. So
Yeah.
how was that process with acceptance?
Thanks for asking that question because, yeah, we all deal with all different things differently because we're all different. And so, yeah, I definitely was calling everyone I knew and saying, oh, hi, we had a baby. And then I'd say he had Down syndrome. So in one breath, I was really happy. And in the next breath, I was saying sort of like it was almost like a loss because I didn't know what to expect. And my husband, Michael, was very silent. Like he kept his cell phone in his pocket and he didn't share any of his emotions. And it was a very different way to deal with it, but it was his way to deal with it. And
Right.
I finally realized it was one NICU nurse, and she said, we all bring our own ideas to things. We have our paintbrush for this painting, and it's okay to accept everyone's, how they feel. So that helped me a lot. And, we realized that we're different. We're still different. We still react to things so much differently. I
Right.
don't think he understands anything I do, and I probably don't understand all the things he does.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. But yeah, we definitely dealt with it differently. And I think the community helped us so much, surrounding us with food and meals, because Alex spent a month in the NICU and he was on oxygen. And so just having the community surround us with that love really helped us a lot. Um,
I agree.
So let me ask you a second question. How do you make sure that your son, who also has trisomy 21, can you pronounce his name for me? It's
Caden. Caden.
Caden. How do you make sure that Caden is part of the community, that he's not just tolerated, and that, like, has that been more challenging because of the pandemic to, you know, put him into the community and have him part of things? How has that been for you?
I think that he's a part of the transformation like community because first, like I involved myself in different support groups. I educated myself just so I could know what the community was about. And then,
Yeah.
and I'm on like the committee board at Children's Hospital for Down
Oh,
syndrome. So I
yay.
kind of involved myself,
Yeah.
educated myself a lot before I actually, put Kaden into the community, which he was already accepted. I feel like the community that we all have is very loving, is very
Yeah.
understanding, and it was just like a whole new side of the world, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all my issues, all my worries, there's a parent out there that know exactly what you're talking about. Had those exact feelings before. So I feel like that's the reason why I feel like he's accepted. I don't think that he's tolerated. I think that Children's Hospital of Philadelphia like just accepted him for who he was and helped me with every resource. As
Wow,
far
that's
as the
wonderful.
pandemic, I feel like it kind of did good for me because I was able to research more, educate myself more, and be in a lot of virtual programs. And I met like all my virtual moms, like I love them dearly. And it also kept us safe because, with our kids, if they was to get COVID, like we would be on like a whole nother planet. So I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
in that way, it helped us a lot.
Definitely. That's beautiful. And are there any obstacles that you have faced personally that you've overcome, and how have you overcome them? And you talked a little bit about the Children's Hospital, which that's, I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to try to, my son is in
Uh,
college, never calls me. And of course he's calling now. I'm going to
right.
call him back. Um,
I feel
so
like the
any
obstacles,
obstacles? Yeah.
yes, the obstacles, to be honest with me, is having a 9 to 5 job. That's one of my biggest obstacles because there's
Yeah.
so many appointments that I have with Kaden, I have with Aiden and Peyton. My daughter just got diagnosed with sleep apnea as well. So it's
Wow.
like so many different appointments. I have to be at so many different places. I really can't have a job that makes me have a schedule. So starting my company Pebbles Fit when I was during my pregnancy could
Yeah,
have been the
it's
best
so,
thing I ever did. So, but as an entrepreneur, we have good months, we have bad months financially. So it's definitely hard. That's the worst obstacle I could say right now is just trying to financially stay stable while still caring for my children. But
yeah.
how I overcame it is by pushing my company and going hard as I can to make sure these bills get paid.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I know I heard an actor, Chris Cream, say once that he lived on a fixed income. He needed to fix his income, and so he fixed it.
Right.
It sounds like you did that.
I'm
It sounds like you
trying.
did
I'm
that.
trying.
Sounds like you did that. So that's awesome. I know there's some days I could be on the phone about Alex literally all day long because there's so many like people at the wheelchair clinic or the doctor or the school needs records. Literally, you could be on the phone all day. And in between, I have two other young people who
Exactly.
are now in college but still need me. So I do understand that.
Exactly. So I've been in the process of like coming out with different products to help Kaden and help other children. What was your inspiration to start your book?
Aw. Can you say that one more time? It's really hard to hear. I don't know why. One more time. Can you say
What
that
was
one more
your
time?
What was your inspiration to start the book?
So the book started in the NICU when he was born because I kept thinking Down syndrome, Down syndrome. Oh, it's going to be, my life is over. And, then I realized through my son's eyes, Josh and Sam, they looked at him and Sam looked at him and he said, my middle son, Sam, he said, he's the cutest baby in the world. And I started to think he's right. And then Grace Waddell, a friend, came to the hospital and she said, he has 10 tiny toes and 10 fingers. He's beautiful. And all of a sudden I fell in love with this baby who at first I thought was going to end my life. And we just, that's it. And so I started to love him so much that instead of thinking down, down, up, I thought of up, not down. And then it took 10 years and I kept, because I was working full time during that period and I was teaching and I just kept keeping notes And I just really wanted the world to know how much I love him, because he's just like my other kids, like Barbara Bowman said, who's Valerie Giard's mom. He's a source of joy and a source of pain, like any child. And he is. He's just,
He is. Yes, yes, yes. I feel the same.
yeah. So that was my inspiration for the book. Let me ask you another question. How do you balance time with your other two children while devoting all the time and attention that your child with challenges, Kaden, needs? And I know you mentioned the other kids have some challenges too, but how do you balance like that with your relationships and parenting? Like, what advice do you have for parents that might be struggling with how to balance being a parent and working and doing all of those things? You mentioned that sometimes you can't do full time. I'm not doing full time either, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But what else? What
I
advice
would
do you have?
say, like, because I don't want my other two children to feel like, you know, Kaden has all of the attention and things like that. So I do go all the time together. So, for example, with Kaden sign language therapy, we all do it together. You
Oh,
know,
I
my
love
daughter
it.
knows sign
Beautiful.
language, Aiden
Yeah.
knows sign language, and Kaden. So it's a form of art communication. But I try to make the therapy like an activity. So physical therapy,
Yeah.
you know, whatever therapist comes to the house, we always do it together if Peyton's not in school. And
That's
because
wonderful.
Peyton is older, I try my best to do things separately with her. Like we do TikTok, we have Girls Day, and she's the only girl, and that's my first love. So I try to do everything as possible. She wanted to start a
Yes.
YouTube channel. We started that.
Wow.
She
Wow.
she's actually coming out with products that we've been working so hard on.
What?
So I
Oh
can't
my
wait to drop that.
gosh.
But I try
Wow.
my best to like, you know, have.
That's beautiful. Can you hear me?
I'm
Can you hear
sorry,
me?
I got a call. But I try my best
Oh,
to
sorry.
have movie night, fun day, you know, collectively with all of us. Like, and honestly, they all like to sleep in my room together. So we're like the four musketeers.
That's
But as
wonderful.
far
And
as
it's so
oh,
wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As
No,
far
that's
as
wonderful.
like relationships and stuff like that, I don't. I try, you know, to do relationships, but I don't think like it's a great fit for me right now because you know
Yeah.
that's like a whole big plate for a man to kind of walk into with me and three kids that's always in the hospital and things like that. And I just feel like right now, like my whole time and heart is really into the children and building myself back up and just starting a foundation where they can live on once I'm going away. So I'm not like, you know, I don't want a man, but I just feel like it's just not the right timing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And relationships take a lot of work. It's true, but they would be so lucky to be connected to your loving family, whoever that is, at whatever point you're ready. I'm sure
If
they'd
you
be so
out
lucky.
there, like,
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And so, yeah. Do you have any more questions?
yes. So I wanted to know because I know when we talked on the phone and stuff, you were saying that at first you was a full time, you worked full time, and financially things was good. Being married and having to work part time now because of all the responsibilities, is that challenging for you financially?
It can be, it can be. But I think, when I was working, and that was 10 years of Alex's life, like for 10 years, and he has epilepsy in addition to trisomy 21, and he has seizures at night. So his seizures only happen when we're all sleeping at night. And before we found CBD oil and a medicine that really worked for him, he would have 9 or 10 seizures a month. So I would go to work and I was like a zombie. It was really
Right.
difficult because I was exhausted, and it was really hard. So I actually got breast cancer, and when I got the breast cancer, I felt like it was a tap on my shoulder, like Chris Beats Cancer. It's this guy has all these videos on how he talked about it. It's like a divine tap on your shoulder, and I felt like it was someone telling me, you know what, this is too much. You got to figure this out. And so I stopped doing the full time. I finished my book. I got my house kind of adapted for Alex, who doesn't walk yet or talk yet. And I say yet because we still hope he will.
Yes.
And then I found that part-time work gives me time to do my writing. I have a second book coming out in the autumn. It's called Up Bow, Down Bow. And it's about Alex and how he studied the cello the last 3 years, and how his music teacher who works with him, it was her first student out of college. And he can't hold a pencil yet or walk, but here he is learning about music and how much it's helped him. So I think, it gives me a balance. And with money, I don't go to the Riviera or Paris or things like that. But I'm so happy and thankful to have Alex with us and my family. And I kind of try to find happiness in each day, and just try to budget a little more. Although my husband would say I probably should budget more. But
No,
yeah.
I think that is beautiful. I think that is
Thank
so
you.
beautiful, and I'm happy that you came into our life because we talk about the things that I want to do
Yeah,
with Kaden books. So I'm very grateful for that, and I think honestly the things that we do inspire other parents because
definitely.
I was that girl before and was clueless if it wasn't for the books and social media and connecting with the Trisomy 21 family. So these tools that we are bringing to our community is very, very helpful.
I think you're right. I mean, I got a letter from someone whose son is in prison, but her other son has trisomy 21 Down syndrome. And she said that my book helped her child that was in prison to understand what that means. So that kind of feedback really, it means the world to me because that's really what I want to do. I want to get my message out there that this is a child like any other. He's just beautiful and has
Yes.
so much to teach us. And yeah, I guess that was my last question to you. What lessons has Kaden taught you that you would like the world to know?
I would say Kaden, the lessons that Kaden has honestly taught me since my pregnancy
Yeah,
is that never underestimate anybody. I mean, don't underestimate God. Don't underestimate love, business, finance, life.
love it, love it.
Never
Yes, yes,
underestimate anything, and
yes,
don't ever give up. Because
ever.
sometimes it's times where I'm just like, oh my God, this is too much. Too much to get over it. And then I just look at my children. I'm like, this is why I'm going so hard. Because all they have is me. And I feel like I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep doing research. I'm going to keep trying my best to educate myself as much about Caden's disability so I can know how to help him.
That's
Just as
so
well as for other
wonderful.
kids, but don't ever, ever, ever give up and make sure you believe in God.
I love that.
Whatever religion you
Pebbles,
believe in, but the
that's
higher power.
Pebbles, that's incredible because keeping the faith, like on certain days at certain times, can be harder than others. And especially as a single parent, raising three children, it brings its own special challenges, let alone a child with challenges and then two other kids. So I give you so much credit. I mean, there's two of us, and some days I wish there were four of us. So
Yes,
I really give you so much credit, and
thank
it's
you.
just amazing that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. What is one advice that you would give any parent that has a child with any disability? What is that advice?
I think one thing I'm really working really hard now on is, and we hear a lot about self care. And I think
Yes.
that, like Joel Osteen, who's got a lot of books out, he says, put your own oxygen mask on. I think if we don't take care of ourselves, there's nothing left for anyone else. So I would say one of the biggest things is every day, if it's like get your nails done, do a live with another beautiful mother, or get a coffee somewhere in a cafe, or take a walk outside in nature, or cook something if it gives you pleasure to make bread, whatever it is, do that each day, even if it's just a half hour on that day, because that will give you strength to give to other people. And then it's not like you're giving from an empty cup. The other thing I would say is that what Barbara Bowman said, I think I said this earlier, that these children, all children, are a source of joy and also a source of pain, like any child, and that we have to just embrace them and teach them and love them. And that would be my advice.
Yes, I think that's one of the best advice because I talk about self care a lot, but it's very hard sometimes to give that time to yourself. Like even if it's just a 3 minute cat nap, or I haven't been to the nail salon in probably like a year. Like I'm at the point where I'm wearing press ons when I go out, so it's like I don't really have that time at times. So
Yeah.
I definitely get it, but I'm at the time where I'm trying to prioritize like me time.
Yes, because I find too, like if I don't exercise or I don't take that me time, I'm not as good for everyone else, and I sort of
Yes.
get the fangs come out, and I'm like, "Ugh." I really need that to give myself some space, and I think we all need that, and we all deserve that. It's really important.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
And y'all,
thank
this was
you.
her first live she did. So we was on the phone. She's like, so wait, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? I was like, I'm gonna guide you through it. I'm gonna send you a request. But I didn't, did you get the request?
What?
Did you receive the request?
Um,
I think you're frozen.
Exactly how, but it did.
I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna guide you through.
Yes, I am tech challenged. But you know what? Hey, we all have our challenges, right?
Yes, but you did awesome, and thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for
Thank you so much.
inspiring me. And I
Thank
know
you.
you
And
have inspired so many people today, and
thank you.
we will have a future.
I hope so. I hope we'll stay connected. And I want to say namaste, which my friend Jeanette, who is in heaven, she says that it's like I honor your light and the light that's in you. And I just namaste to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye. Thank you. Wait, do anybody have
Bye.
any questions before we get off? We
Oh,
have like 5 minutes.
yeah.
Any questions? Um, any questions about anything? Oh, you said I met you at the flower restaurant. Yes, girl, I need some lashes. Well, I'm gonna give it like a little 1 minute, but I'm trying to read everything.
Thank you so much again for doing this. I think it's so important to have this community where you can share ideas and talk together. I love it.
Yes, thank you so much for being a part
Thank you.
of it. Outside of this, too. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And thanks to our Linda
Thank you
Arlen for
keeping.
connecting me to you. Thank you so much to
Yes,
her.
wait, who was that again? Who was that again?
Arlinda Arlen?
Arlinda, I meant to DM her. Yes, I couldn't find her when I was trying to look for her.
Yeah, no, she really, I'm so glad she connected us to collab. This was really fun.
Yes. Well, I guess there's no more questions. Thank you guys for all the positive comments.
Thank you.
Guys, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.